Beer wagons. Everyone's going to own one at some point if you haven't already. And here we've got 3 models to have a look at. Thanks for joining again. It's another one of these versus battles where we've got a Liliput, a Trix and a Fleischmann model to have a look at. All very similar, these kind of German beer wagons. And it's going to be interesting to compare like for like. They're all vintage models, these ones, and you can pick each of these up for around about 10, maybe 15 pounds in the second-hand market. So we're going to have a look at them all in turn, and we're going to start off with the Liliput one. This one's coming in the classic Liliput kind of wooden effect boxes, and not my favourite colour design of these. And it was still at a time when Liliput was made in Austria and it wasn't owned by Bachmann. On this end of the box you can see the number 21502. And you also have this sticker on for 1950, and I'm not sure what currency that is. Anyway, let's get this open and we'll have a look at it. So this one is for Waggoner Pilsner, not a beer I've had before. Well, there's a challenge, I'll need to give it a try sometime. And it's quite an interesting livery on it. It's got this kind of silver effect, and it's also got the gold effect as well in the printing. I'm not sure if this is based on a real wagon that hauled this stuff. Usually with these wagons, it comes under the vans with brands kind of philosophy of just sticking any old brand on a model that you've got and trying to sell it. And I guess it works quite well for beer wagons because, you know, they did transport it by train in the past, but I'm not sure they transported this particular one. Anyway, looking at the moulding we've got here, it's actually got quite a lot of nice detail. I really like the rivet and the bracket detail, and the door looks very convincing. It looks as though it should open, but it doesn't actually. And we've also got little bits here where you can see inside the van as if they're little vents that are half open, which is a nice touch. On each of the corners there's a little handrail, part of the main moulding, but it is picked out and you can see through it there. And we've got these little brackets as well, which always break off. I think it's actually broken off on this corner. And then we have a brakeman's cabin here. One of the things I noticed up here is there's a little moulding mark on the back of the cab roof there, which is a bit annoying. There's also a moulding mark on the middle of the roof too. It's painted silver up here. Mast off not too bad, but not really that great. There's no glazing either in the cab there, but we do have some details of the windows and the door handle. We've also got these steps as an extra piece that's been added on. They're just made of plastic and they do move around a little bit. They don't really line up either. They're a little bit sticky out. The chassis is a one piece, which includes the steps coming down here and the buffers as well. Not really a lot of detail on that. And even looking at the wheels, there's a little bit of spring detail and brakes. The brakes aren't in line with the wheels, but it's not really that good. The wheels are nice though. We do have spokes on those and they're all made of metal as well. Looking underneath, we've got some planking under there and a couple of tanks and brake gear moulded in, which looks pretty good. We've also got couplings in them pockets, which do have a bit of articulation here as well to keep it coupled up. The wheels revolve not really that great either. The one on this side's a little bit better than the one on this side, but it's not too bad, I suppose. It's an okay model, but I would say definitely this is more budget. Well, let's have a look at one of the other ones, and let's go for the Fleischmann one next. This one is model number 5357. Alright, this one is advertising Pilsner Urquell, which I think everybody's tried at some time in their life. It's definitely a different class of model, this one. It's got so much more detail on it. The printing on it is so much clearer. I mean, it's got the same kind of detail as the Liliput one in terms of the moulding with the rivets and the bracing and the door here as well. But this time the door does actually open, which is really cool. But the printing quality is much, much better, so much clearer, and you can really read it quite nicely. The chassis now has a couple of rivet details on it, and the spring detail is a lot more clear. The brakes are in line with the wheels. The wheels are spoked, they revolve much better as well, and they do look really good too. Underneath, the planking is much more detailed. We've got some grain effect in there, and also the brake gear is also looking much better too. We don't have NEM pockets on this one. The couplings are just attached with the old Fleischmann type of little stud there, but they do articulate pretty well. You'll notice we've got some metal handrails going up to the brakeman's cab, which is a nice detail. The roof is painted silver, and we've got some effect here as well, like a kind of texture effect. We do have a moulding mark in the middle there, and some of the masking isn't too good, like just up here as well. A different type of brake cab now, still no glazing on it, but the moulding is much more defined there. We have really nice looking steps coming down, but we do have this wire handrail going right through the middle of it. There's no detail inside this wagon at all, even though the door's open. So overall, I think this is a much better quality looking wagon, and I'm quite impressed with this one. But let's move on to the next one, which is a Trix model. This one is number 52360100 from the Trix International range. So let's get this open as well and we'll check it out. So this one has a logo MAN on the side. Now, I don't actually know if that's a beer brand. I know it's a truck company now, but this is a similar van. So if it's not actually a beer van, then you know you can compare it because it's almost identical. We have the brakeman's cab up here, and this time we've got different windows on it. We've got a lot more detail on the grain of the planks as well. Still really good rivet detail and bracing. The vents are really nicely defined, and this one also has opening doors. And inside we have a little bit of detail. It's got cross planking there, which is really quite cool. Got the Bavarian State Railway logos up here and a number. I really like that Bavarian symbol there. It's really well done. And the printing on this extends down onto the chassis, which has got some lettering on it as well. Very nicely printed. There's a lot more detail here, and the chassis is really nicely finely detailed around the axles as well, and the spring detail and the brake blocks. We've even got these little pieces of brake gearing, and the wheels are dulled metal now. They still revolve really good. Got really great spokes on them as well. The couplings cantilever here, they're not in them pockets, and they're hidden inside the chassis, which is a nice detail. And underneath here we also have the grain of the planking, and all the cross bracing and brake gear is really nicely defined in there. Up on the roof we do have a little tiny mark in the middle, but really not that much. It's got the same kind of texture effect with some ribs going across. Much more detail on top of the brakeman's cab there. On the corner of this one though, we don't have the handles coming proud of the bodies. There's no space in between them, but they are moulded in there, but it's very fine. So this is another really cool model. It's got a lot to like as well. But before we go any further, I think we should put each of these on the scales and see what they weigh. So the Liliput model weighs 53 grams. The Fleischmann also weighs 53 grams. And the Trix one is the lightest at 43 grams. So three very similar models here, but actually quite different as well. There's a lot to like on all of them, but I think for me there's a clear winner, and I'll get onto that in a moment. But what's the clear loser here is, I think, the Liliput model. The printing on it is quite colourful and interesting, but the moulding does let it down a little bit, especially with some of the moulding marks on it, and things like the ladders going up to the brakeman's cab is just not really that good. And the chassis really lacks detail. It just feels like a budget model compared to the others, and it would probably be priced around about the same in the second-hand market. It's much more difficult to pick between the Fleischmann and the Trix model. They're both very good quality models. They've got a lot of detail on it, really nice crisp printing, and a lot of nice fine details on the moulding and the chassis. The wheels look really good as well, and overall they feel very good quality items. It's a hard choice between these two. I definitely do like Trix, but in this instance I'm going to go with Fleischmann because I like the metal handrails coming down from the brakeman's cab. It just has this overall feel that it's a little bit better quality, and because it's a little bit heavier as well, it just has that extra bit, just tips it over into first place. But what do you think? Which would you choose out of these three? And what do you think about beer wagons in general? Are they just a bit of a gimmick, or are they actually nice collectible items? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel. Now I'm going to put the Fleischmann one on the turntable. It was my winner, so I get to choose that. And in a moment an icon will appear. Just click on that and I'll see you on my next video. Thanks for watching this one though. Appreciate your time you spend with me, and I will see you on the next one.
So model trains, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny worlds, choo choo, model trains, model worlds, choo choo, model trains, tiny worlds, choo choo.